There's a new economic race heating up on the world stage, and it's a fascinating one. It's a contest between an old guard and a new challenger, a story of established power versus some really explosive potential. So today, let's dive into this matchup, India versus Germany.
So on one side, you've got Germany. For decades, it's been the industrial heart of Europe. I mean, the name itself is basically a byword for engineering, stability, and high-quality manufacturing, right? It's an economy built on a really long history of strength and precision.
And then, on the other side, you have India. We're talking about a nation of 1.4 billion people, just buzzing with the energy of a young population. It's driven by this incredible ambition to claim its spot at the very top of the global economic ladder.
And the headlines are everywhere. Forecasters like the International Monetary Fund are predicting that India is right on the verge of overtaking Germany's economy. But what does that headline number really mean? I mean, how do these two economic giants truly stack up when you look at the day-to-day lives of their people? That's the real story we're going to get into.
So let's start with the big picture, the raw economic power that's driving this entire conversation. The numbers themselves, well, they paint a really fascinating and maybe even a surprising picture.
$600 billion. That's the number to keep in your head. According to the latest figures, that's the gap India needs to close to officially leapfrog Germany and become the world's third largest economy. In the grand scheme of things, that is an incredibly tight race.
And you can see just how close it is right here. India's economy is sitting at 4.3 trillion, with Germany just ahead at 4.9 trillion. But, and this is a really big but, looking at the total size of the economy, the GDP, that only tells us one part of the story.
Because this is where the perspective just completely flips. When you take that massive economic pie and you divide it by the population, you get GDP per capita, which is a much better way to look at individual wealth. And the gap here is, well, it's staggering. Germany is the 21st richest country per person, while India is way down at 160. This is the crucial difference between the size of a nation's wallet and how much money is in the average citizen's pocket.
And you see this disparity play out across all the other key metrics. Unemployment is higher in India, and so is the poverty rate. But just look at the average annual salary. It's over 6 times higher in Germany. I mean, think about that. That one statistic has a massive impact on pretty much everything, from lifestyle to basic economic security.
So how do these two countries build the workforces that power their economies? Well, the answer really lies in two very, very different approaches to education. This quote right here, it gets to the heart of the matter. In Germany, there's a deep cultural respect for vocational jobs. Carpenters, plumbers, electricians, that puts them on a similar level to academic professions. In this philosophy, it's baked right into their whole system. And it's not just some vague idea, it's literally built into their school system. As early as 4th grade, students are guided into different tracks. Some are geared towards practical, hands-on vocational training, while others are set on a more academic path toward university. The key thing here is that German society sees both of these paths as valuable routes to a good, well-paying, and respected career.
Now, when we talk about higher education, the contrast is even sharper. In India, a university degree often comes with a pretty hefty price tag. But in Germany, get this, public universities are tuition-free. For everyone. That includes international students. You just pay a small semester fee that covers stuff like administrative costs and public transport.
So what's the result of that? Well, almost 50,000 students from India are currently studying in Germany. They are the single largest group of international students in the entire country. And that is a powerful testament to the appeal of Germany's accessible, high-quality education.
All right. Next up, let's look at another critical pillar of any society, healthcare. How do these two nations take care of their people when they get sick?
Germany runs on a system of mandatory health insurance. Pretty much everyone is covered, whether it's public or private. This creates a really robust safety net, making sure that getting medical care isn't determined by your ability to pay right at that moment. It's all designed for security and stability. In India, though, the situation can be quite different for a lot of people. If you don't have comprehensive insurance, the out-of-pocket costs can be really high. A single consultation with a specialist could cost up to 2,000 rupees, which can place a huge financial burden on individuals and families, especially when you're facing a medical emergency. So what does all of this, the economy, the education, the healthcare, what does it all add up to? Let's look at some broader measures of what it's actually like to live in each of these countries. Probably one of the best ways to measure this is the Human Development Index, the HDI. It's great because it looks beyond just money.
It combines data on life expectancy, education, and income to give you a single score for quality of life. Germany ranks an impressive 6th in the world. India is at 131. This just starkly illustrates the long road ahead for India in translating its incredible economic growth into widespread well-being for its citizens.
And a key piece of that index is life expectancy. The average in Germany is over 80 years old. That's a full 11 years longer than in India. That one number speaks volumes about the deep, deep differences in healthcare, nutrition, and just overall living conditions.
So as India charges towards that number 3 spot on the world stage, what are the biggest challenges it needs to tackle? Not just to grow its economy, but to lift the quality of life for its hundreds of millions of citizens.
So what's the path forward? Well, analysts point to a strategy with a few key fronts. First, they've got to revive the manufacturing sector to create millions of stable jobs. Second, reform agriculture so farmers actually get a fair share of the profits. Third, really embrace technologies like AI to stay competitive. And finally, build world-class cities with the infrastructure needed to support a modern, high-income economy.
The ambition is definitely there. This statement from the CEO of India's main policy think tank really reflects the confidence and the determination that's driving the nation forward. The goal of becoming the 3rd largest economy isn't just some vague dream, it's a stated objective.
And all of that leaves us with the ultimate question. Surpassing Germany's GDP seems more like a matter of when than if at this point. But the real challenge, the much bigger story, is about what comes next. Is India going to forge a unique path that combines that rapid economic growth with the kind of social safety nets and widespread prosperity you see in nations like Germany? The whole world is watching to find out.